Okay, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, or should I say Montecito, have finally RSVP'd to King Charles's coronation invite, days after the deadline came and went. Now, friends at Sky News UK have the latest.
This was the last time we saw them together in the UK. And ever since the Queen's funeral, speculation about the King's coronation. Months of will they, won't they, and now an answer. The Duke of Sussex will attend the coronation service at Westminster Abbey on May the 6th. The Duchess of Sussex will remain in California with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. No detail on what made up their minds.
No one knows the full truth. We know the full truth.
But their Netflix series, Harry's book and interviews made it clear there was a lot to discuss before they decided. As for Meghan, her absence is significant. Security had always been a big issue for the couple. It's still not settled. Neither is the dispute between Harry and William. But at least coming alone, the Duke of Sussex avoids some awkward moments.
Well, joining me now is the Daily Mirror's Associate Editor, Russell Myers. Russell, thanks for joining me. Surely Harry and Meghan have enough money for a nanny. So what's the real reason that Meghan's staying behind, skipping the first coronation of an English king in nearly 100 years?
Well, good evening. Pleasure to join you. Well, I think it's very interesting. We've been playing this sort of will they, won't they game for so long now. And of course, finally, yesterday afternoon, just 24 hours after the chaotic scenes at the heart of the coronation planning had been revealed, we finally got the answer that Prince Harry would be joining. It's very interesting to see that Meghan will not be coming. And one may wonder, of course, whether their son's 4th birthday, the same day as the King's coronation on May the 6th, has played a huge part, I'm sure. However, of course, we've had the Oprah Winfrey interview, then the Netflix series, and not to mention Harry's explosive memoir, Spare. And, no member of the royal family came off lightly in that. So I think all things considered, probably the right decision for Harry to come up and Meghan to stay at home with the children.
I suspect you're right. But how has the King reacted to this news that his son, but not his son's wife, of course, was going to be attending the coronation? Because he was the one who barred Meghan effectively from Queen Elizabeth II's deathbed.
Again, like you say, those fractiousness elements of the family have been very well played out over the last couple of years. And we haven't had any public statement from the King. I mean, people I've spoken to have said, of course, he will be delighted that his younger son will be attending. I think there would have been a big sort of Harry-shaped hole, if you will, if he hadn't come. And I think Harry certainly would have regretted it as well. But those relationships between Harry and the rest of his family very much in the gutter. And I don't think that there's time for them to be healed ahead of the coronation, only 3 weeks out now. And of course, Meghan was the one sort of leading those sort of barbs against the royal family. At the Oprah Winfrey interview, we had the allegations of racism, abandonment within the family that Harry and Meghan have both rode back on. So the fact that she won't be coming, I think it sort of takes the sting out of Harry's attendance somewhat.
Yes, it remains to be seen how they can reconcile on such an important day. Is there any expectation that Netflix cameras will accompany the Prince, given that they've got this contractual obligation to tell all about their lives to the streaming service?
Well, listen, I would be very, very surprised if that element was part of it. But, make no mistake that those relationships that we've discussed between Harry, the King himself, his brother, and the rest of the family are very, very fraught indeed. There was certainly a period leading up to the late Queen's final years and her passing where the family were terrified that would be speaking to Harry and things would be used against them. And we of course, had the very, very well publicised Oprah Winfrey interview. The fallout from that continued for a couple of years. Then that Netflix series, which was containing recordings that they were making right up the year before that they decided to leave. So listen, I think it'll be a very, very quick trip for Harry, in and out in a matter of days. We won't see him at the main celebrations like the balcony, a fly past and what have you at Buckingham Palace. So one may wonder if he'll keep his counsel and try to sort of fade into the background with this.
Yeah, Russell, before I let you go, you did reveal that King Charles voted to remove cameras from his holy anointment ceremony. And this is despite a previous wish to make the traditionally concealed ceremony public. What's the background behind that?
Well, again, we are sort of picking up on how sort of fraught these plannings are. I mean, again, let's be fair to them. It's a huge global event. There must be lots of panic. Anyone who's planned a surprise birthday or a wedding will know. And this is sort of huge on a grand scale. But this issue about him being anointed with the holy oil, there had been some discussion whether he would choose to open that up to the cameras. But Charles, of course, is the head of the Church of England and Scotland. It's particularly the most sacred part of the coronation. And I think that Charles felt that would have been a step too far, even though he does want to give this to the masses, try and get out and see as many people as possible. But I'm sure it will be an occasion for the ages, despite the cameras turning away at that moment.
I certainly think it will be, and from my point of view, it's always nice to have a bit of mystery and a bit of stuff that's hidden behind the veil in matters such as this. Russell Myers, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me on Sharry tonight.